Welcome to my Gambletown. It is my Gambletown because I'm the only one who won their millionaire bets. And as your God Emperor, I gotta say, last week was just kind of okay. We were 7-8 as a show, 2-4 on parlays. Tony is the parlay king though, because he went 2-0 and he is maintaining his record. He's 6-18 on parlays, which is very nice. I'm only 4-21, and Ryan is 2-22. On the season, we are 108 and 115. Not so good. I thought we would have gone up a little bit. I don't know. And we are 28 and 32 over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm just not having a good year. After it's karma because of last year I did so well.
That's fine. All I know is next year I'm going to have a 67% hit rate. It's science. Like just looking at how these last 2 years have gone.
Yeah.
Like let's look at it. Tony, 43 and 31. I am 35 and 39, and Ryan is an abysmal 30 and 14. Sorry, I have to call it like it is, man.
30 and 14? No.
30 and 45.
Oh.
30 and 45.
They're rehabbing your image.
We're redacting Ryan's losses. Like Ryan's 45 losses, that's fake news.
Yes.
I agree.
But you know what's not fake news? These bets that are coming up right now, guys. And Tony, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, let's run through our top 5 bets of the week. I'm going to start, and I have 5 system plays this week. The system popped out 6 things, and the first one was Puka Nakua, so that hit.
Yeah. That hit like gangbusters.
Yeah, sure did. I changed a couple things in the system. Instead of defensive EPA, I'm now just doing completion percentage against defense, like what they're giving up, because I wanted to pair it better. Yeah, I wanted to pair it better with the quarterback. So now, like, it's when you're looking at, like, say, man coverage, then I'm charting quarterback completion percentage versus man coverage, and then passing yards per game against man coverage, and then in man coverage, what completion percentage does the defense allow, and how many yards per game does the defense allow that?
That's good. That's a very logical metric. I feel like it's gonna.
Well, I had a big snap back moment where I was like, wait. EPA doesn't matter. And then also, I'm not playing fantasy football here. So I don't know why I was charting and counting greens for players that were top 12 in something. We're just going top 10 from now on.
Sure.
Well, that's how we get better. We got to reevaluate our process and just figure out where we can get it better. And I got to tell you, man, last week, what was your system last week?
Last week, we were 4-3, unfortunately, because Justin Jefferson, once again, we got 9'd. But
yeah,
year to date, we're pretty good. We're up 80 and 53. No, sorry, we are 42 and 32.
I mean, that's money is what that is. If you still do it, you're making a profit, and I think that we're going to keep going because I really like these choices this week.
Well, I appreciate that. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Yeah, we're 42 and 32. And then overall, we are 84 and 56, which is why I'm leading the pack. Like, I'm just following this model.
Yeah.
So, so my first model play this week is a name you're going to hear a whole bunch of times today. And it's Amon-Ra St. Brown over 80.5 receiving yards, a line I got on Wednesday. This is the Amon-Ra, like, potentially wide receiver 1 week. The matchup is crazy. And, you know, we'll be ranting about this dude for the next 45 minutes. So I'm just going to pass it to Waleed so you can tell us your first top 5 bet of the week.
Hey, I'm going to say my first top 5 bet of the week, also Sun God. 84.5 receiving yards. Like my usage model just absolutely loves him over the last 4 weeks. I've been a lot more focused on like DFS, and like I have a grading score that I try to make sure my players get a certain amount of points based on my usage model. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the clear winner of the week, like above all receivers by a significant amount. The fact that he's also at the top of Tony's receiver model makes me think that I'm going to have Sun God everywhere.
I'm building lineups for this weekend in DFS, and I believe I'm at 100% Amon-Ra St. Brown exposure.
I'm not going to do that because I'm doing like it because in some places I had to pick between Sun God and Gibbs, and I like both a lot. And also I'm trying to make sure that I have a little bit of variance. So I'm going to cap him at a 30% roster rate just to be safe.
We're also playing different levels. Waleed's a fucking shark, and I'm a mere minnow. All right, Ryan, let's get your first top 5 bet of the week.
All right, first up this week, guys, we're going with tonight's game, Bears versus Green Bay. We're going with Colson Loveland over 3.5 receptions. I got it yesterday at minus 163. It has since come down to like minus 152 or 151, something like that. I think it's a solid bet. Bears don't have Odunze, and they don't have
no burden.
Oh, no burden. Yeah. So yeah, I think Loveland's easily going to get 4 catches. So
yeah, no, like Loveland is like just made himself the wide receiver 2 by default, and I think that this is going to be an excellent game. I'm so excited for this game, and I love this bet.
Another reason why, and I'm also in on the Bears winning this week. Another reason why I like that is because guess what, guys? In the past 12 games, the Bears are 12-3 against the spread, and the spread on this game is only 1.5. That means the Bears are going to win.
Love it.
That's beautiful, Ryan. It brings a tear to my eye.
Right.
All right, my second top 5 bet of the week. I'm going back to another system play. We have Nico Collins over 60.5 receiving yards. We could run the same risk that we ran last week, and we'll talk about it when the time comes. But Nico Collins is coming into his own again. This is kind of the same Nico Collins that we saw at the end of last year. Raiders are first in cover 3 deployment in the league, and they give up the most passing yards per game. They give up 110 passing yards per game when in cover 3. And to give up more passing yards in cover 3 when there's a team coached by Matt Eberflus that's not your team that's a feat. That's very impressive. And Nico Collins, top 5 in separation, top 5 in yards per route run, top 10 in targets per route run. And so I am banking on a huge Nico Collins week. The line was at 60, which I still think is pretty low. I wouldn't mind taking it up to about like 67.5, 68.5. So 60.5 receiving. Nico Collins is my second top 5 bet of the week. Waleed?
One thing I want to throw out here. I mean, Houston's playing the Raiders, and over his last 3 weeks, Nico Collins, 22 targets for 12 catches and 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, Nico Collins has been crushing it over the last month, and he's playing a very bad Raiders team that just doesn't care. So, love Nico Collins here. Well, also, the other guy I also love right now, Caleb over 209.5 passing yards. That's my second bet of the week. And I got to be honest here, that number feels incredibly low.
Yeah, right? They lost Micah Parsons, their pass rush guy.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest, like, my usage model actually really likes Caleb to hit this over. But this is also just a vibes bet. It's Bears-Packers week. Take my Bears bets with a grain of salt. But Caleb's actually one of my favorite plays at quarterback of the week, like from a DFS standpoint. I was sad he wasn't on the main slate, but that's okay. Like, I'll get it on the Saturday stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Ryan, can I get your second top 5 bet of the week, my friend?
Guys, another line that seems low for this week. Bucky Irving, I didn't check this morning, but yesterday I got it at 64.5 rush yards. I like that bet a lot this week. Right now, Tampa Bay's running inside zone 39% of the time. That's the 3rd most in the league. And guess what, guys? The Panthers are allowing 5.5 yards per carry against inside zone. So I really like Bucky Irving this week.
I think that's great. I mean, you have Tampa Bay's passing offense is on fire right now. They have to respect Mike Evans, Chris Godwin,
right? Yep.
And open up some lanes. Bucky Irving, by the way, I think people will be talking a lot more about Bucky Irving's return to the lineup if he didn't have a goal line touchdown taken by Sean Tucker last week. So something to be mindful of. All right, so my third top 5 bet of the week is actually a running back from what happened last week, which was a guy that was in the system and didn't hit. And it was Devonta Smith. His line last week was 54.5. This week I got it at 57.5. He continues to be the best separator against cover 2 in football. And last week we just ran bad because he had 2 catches for 50 yards in the first quarter, and then they were up 31-0 at halftime and just did not throw the ball. But if they were playing any sort of a competitive team, he would have hit easily. Probably would have doubled his
Sure.
yardage prop. So that's a line I'm more comfortable taking.
Which begs the question: is Washington a competitive team?
I think they're going to score at least a touchdown or two.
They're definitely more they're I don't know that they're a competitive team, but they're more competitive than the Raiders. I will say that. Washington right now giving up 8.4 yards per target on the season to or per pass attempt to quarterbacks. They're also giving up let me see here. 9.3 yards per target to wide receivers lined out wide, and 9.7 to wide receivers in the slot. Like Washington cannot stop the pass. As simple as that. They also can't stop the run.
I got a fun fact for you here. So THFanta Smith is the league's best separator against cover 2. He is third in the league in first read target share against cover 2. And Washington allows the second highest completion percentage in cover 2. 80.6% of passes attempted against cover 2 are complete against Washington.
Wow.
You're telling me that my my playoff teams are going to be very happy to be starting THFanta Smith. That's what I'm hearing here.
And I'm telling you that Washington's probably going cornerback in the draft this year.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I mean, I don't know. Like between that and offensive line, they invested a lot of this offseason, and that felt like a very short-sighted thing to do when you got like Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract.
Well, I mean, remember like everyone was clowning on the Texans for trading Laramie Tunsil to Washington, and then everyone was like, wait, no, they did that because he's really bad.
Laramie Tunsil the last 2 years has fallen off a lot. He is a false start machine. It's problematic. Like I feel like he's the guy who got paid and is given up. I hope he proves me wrong. I always was a Laramie Tunsil fan, but not the last 2 years I haven't been.
He needs to hit the gas mask bong again. All right, Wally, what's your next top 5 bet of the week?
So the number one running back on my usage model this week by a significant amount, Bijan Robinson. I am so in. I feel like the argument this week is Bijan versus Gibbs. I'm on side Bijan for this week because I'm just sorry, but like Arizona's defense can't stop anyone. 130.5 rushing and receiving yards combined might seem like a lot, except for the fact that like Bijan can do this and he'll get half of this in one play. Like he's going to have explosives, and I'm here for it.
He'll get half of that in one play, and then Algier will come in when they get to the 5 and get the touchdown.
Let's go.
Bill, I mean, as long as he gets his yardage, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was. That's
I'm gonna have a lot of Bijan. I'm gonna have Bijan in DFS, so I won't be fine.
Right. That was the only reason I went Gibbs over Bijan in DFS. Is because the Algier swipes all those touchdowns.
Yeah, I get it.
True. All right, Ryan, can I get your third top 5 bet of the week?
We're going another tight end this week, guys. We're going Dallas Goedert over 4.5 receptions, 4 or more receptions at minus 166. Let's see, guys. Another reason to go up against Washington's D. They're allowing the 5th most yards and points to tight ends this year right now. So, and honestly, Dallas Goedert has looked really good the last 2 games. I know Tony said the game script for last week kind of made them not really pass, but Dallas Goedert still got like 8 catches in that game. So
should have had 3 touchdowns.
Right. So yeah, Dallas Goedert is on fire right now. So I think 4 or more receptions is easily attainable.
Okay. Respect. We're going to stick with Philly here because my 4th top 5 bet of the week is A.J. Brown over 60.5 receiving yards. Hit the exact same problem as THFanta Smith did last week, is in the sense that they only played essentially one half of football. He continues to be the best cover 3 separator in the league. And he's going against a defense that allows 76% completion percentage against when they're in cover 3. So this team is atrocious. Like I said, really, the success of these 2 lines is going to be based on how competitive of a game Washington can make it. So, yeah, Smith and A.J. Brown, I have both in this game, both of them to go hit their overs. I I'm realistically hoping for a split on these two, but if the game's competitive, I think there's no problem that they both hit. That's the only thing that I believe is holding us back. So, all right, Waleed, let me get your fourth top 5 bet of the week.
My fourth, Travis Kelce over 51.5 receiving yards against a Titans team that is just not very good. Right now, over the last 4 weeks, they're giving up 9.7 yards per target to the slot. I think, and you had a stat that really stood out to me, and actually was like the tiebreaker in how I was picking my top 5 bets. What were you saying, Gardner Minshew to the tight end?
Yeah, it was Minshew's like career tight end target share is like 24% or something like that. Like, and he's been throwing to some bums in his career, and that's across like all of his professional stops.
And when you consider that there's going to be no Rashee Rice, that just tells me that like the over on Kelce is a strong play.
Yeah, I mean that's we'll talk about him when we get to our DFS portion, but Travis Kelce is like everywhere for me. So, all right, Ryan, can I get your fourth top 5 bet of the week?
This week, guys, we're going with another tight end. We're going Gunnar Helm over 2.5.
Another tight end, Ryan? You?
Yes. Gunnar Helm over 2.5 receptions. I think that Tennessee is going to win this game this week, and if they're going to do that against the Chiefs, they're going to have to pass. And Gunnar Helm has been somewhat of a safety valve for Cam Ward. Had 4 catches last game, only had 2 the game before, but had a string of where he had like 5 or 6 consistently in a handful of games. And let's be honest here. Tennessee hasn't looked that bad. They're like they've got Arizona syndrome. They're putting up numbers with their receivers and stuff and Pollard, but they're not winning games. It's not translating to wins. But they're getting some interesting production, and as Tony said last night on the THfantaC Pod, there's some interesting talent that's developing in Tennessee right now. So, yeah.
I mean, I was
2.5 receptions.
I definitely think that like you can see a split in what Callahan and what Cam Ward's done since Callahan. Titans were like, we're gonna strip down the offense, we're gonna simplify it, and let Cam Ward just go out there and read the field and play football. And I think he's fine. I think he's good at it. I don't think he's great at it, but he's where he should be as a rookie. That was a first overall pick in a bad class, not his fault. What I said on the pod is that I think that there are some weapons on this team. There's no alpha, but there's a lot of really interesting developmental skill position players on the Titans that I think a good offensive mind would do wonders with, which scares me that they're considering Matt Nagy as the head coach. So
yeah, if you boost that offensive line a little bit and then you get an alpha receiver in there, the Titans are a really interesting team from a developmental standpoint.
Yeah, but check back on this in like 4 years.
It depends on the coach. Like the coaching staff matters, but also I don't even think it matters what coach you are. That ownership feels so toxic that I just don't think you can succeed in Tennessee.
Sure.
All right, so my last top 5 bet of the week is Marvin Harrison over 44.5 receiving yards. I had to wait pretty long in the week for this to pop. It's been off the books for pretty much up until yesterday. I finally got it. And some books had it at it opened at 51, and BetMGM had it open at 41.5. And by the time I got there, it was 44.5. Which should tell you there's a lot of movement towards Harrison looking good this week. He is an elite cover 4 player at separation, and he's going against a team that plays cover 3 or cover 4 at the 3rd highest rate in the league. I need Marv to do good for my best ball teams too. So let's hope that this hits. So yeah, I got Harrison at 44.5 receiving yards as my 5th top 5 bet of the week. Waleed, what's yours?
I had 0 Marvin Harrison in best ball. He was a complete fade for me. But I'm hoping that he makes you a lot of money, Tony.
See, that's the thing. He was a fade for me too, but this was Waleed and I are both in the semis of the $7 like the small tutty, whatever, the 25K tutties.
Yeah.
And those drafts got pretty slappy. And like I had Marvin Harrison as one of my like do not drafts. So my assumption is that he just fell crazy.
Yeah. Like I have him on I have like some guys that are do not draft, but that's only at ADP. Like if Marvin Harrison was like there in the 6th round, I would have smashed him everywhere. Like,
well, I'm looking
because the talent is there.
When I'm looking at that roster, it's got Puka, it's got JSN, it's got Devon Achan, and so like I'm at the point where I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I must have just been like, hey, you know, Puka and JSN are great. Harrison as a wide receiver 3 is not a bad deal in the late 4th, early 5th.
And it's a nice little pivot. Yeah, I could definitely see how that would happen.
That's the only, I mean, looking at my team, that's the only thing that makes sense is that I went hero RB and hit on Puka, JSN, and I guess hopefully Marvin Harrison would be really nice. Kyle Monunga is on that team too, which would be wonderful if he could get me 15 points.
Dude, I got Monunga in some spots too. Like I got a lot of interesting pieces with great matchups this week, and I'm just like, but I got Puka to everywhere. For some reason, none of my Puka teams made it through, and I had like 20% exposure.
I do like Monunga for a touchdown this week. I like someone else better for a touchdown, but Monunga is my second one on this team.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, Waleed, hit me with your 5th top 5 bet of the week.
My 5th top 5 bet of the week. If you're a running back playing the New York Giants, I want your rushing over. Aaron Jones over 53.5 rushing yards. Yards before contact, the Giants are giving up 2.72 yards before contact over the last 4 weeks. Also, over the last 4 weeks, they're giving up 2.64 yards after contact, which means they're averaging basically like 0.36 yards per attempt. So if he gets the ball 10 times, he should hit this over. On top of that, Minnesota has one of the best rush grades, the 5th best rush grade from an offensive line standpoint. And like Aaron Jones has been quietly good the last couple of weeks. So I think this is a solid, cheap investment.
Okay.
I love him a lot more in DFS than I do like from a straight rushing prop standpoint. But like my model really has him as one of the top running backs of the week. So I'm just gonna trust the math.
Yep. All right, Ryan, your final top 5 bet of the week.
Guys, I think this week Detroit's going to run their offense through Gibbs, so I'm just making it easy. I'm going with Gibbs over 110 rushing and receiving yards.
I love when my homies, so like I have what, 4, 5, 6, 7 of my 15 DFS builds that I'm going to rock with this week already built, and it's real nice to see you guys have names of the guys that I'm heavy on.
Right? You know? I always feel good when like the consensus matches up with my models. Like I do, like Gibbs is my RB2 of the week behind Bijan. I think a lot of people have Gibbs ahead. I get it. Because I mean, let's see, it's every other week he scores 3 touchdowns. Gibbs is due for 3 touchdowns this week.
Well, also like there was something. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so Gibbs is... The Lions have played 6 games this year as favorites with an over-under of at least 48. In those games, Jahmyr Gibbs averages 34.1 DraftKings points.
Nice.
So, I mean, no complaints.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree.
So those are our top 5 bets of the week. Let's run through our parlays. Also want to give a shout out to Ryan, who's trying to get his record back up to the end of the year and is going with what he knows. 3 of his top 5 bets are running backs. Let's go.
Tight ends.
Or same thing. All right. All right. So my first parlay, I did adjusted passing line props because I thought that like I'm kind of tiering it. I want to do this with like ladder it a little bit, but the one that I settled on for the show is 200 plus passing yards for Aaron Rodgers, Jacoby Brissett, and Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I mean, it's only plus 118, so I hung 10 on it, which would bring me back 2176. So it's not a huge investment, but that seems like something that's just going to hit, and I'll take the chance to slightly double my money on something that I feel fairly confident in happening.
And these are all plus matchups for these quarterbacks. Jacoby Brissett will get his 200 yards in the second half, though.
Yeah, that's why that's how I identified these 3. I'm like, who are 3 quarterbacks that should have high pass rate over expectation that should be passing constantly and are playing really bad pass defenses.
Yep.
So, and then my money line parlay. All right, here we go. You're gonna hear this a couple times, but I went Buffalo against Cleveland money line. I took the Chargers over Dallas, which is a little bit riskier, and then I took the Tennessee Titans to win outright against the Kansas City Chiefs. That got me plus 528. I put 10 on it to give me back 62.78. Ryan, let me get your parlay.
Nice. All right, guys. This week, I wasn't too confident in a lot of same game stuff, so I just went with a touchdown parlay this week. I went with a THFan touchdown, a James Cook touchdown, and a Javonte Williams touchdown. I used DK's touchdown boost, so it was actually somewhere around 300 something, and I boosted it up to 411. So I put $5 down to win a little over 25. And then I just did a 2-game money line parlay this week. I took Tennessee and I took Jacksonville. Jacksonville has been super hot over the last handful of games, including being 5-0 against the spread, which is the longest active cover streak in the NFL right now. Denver is also allowing the 7th most targets per game to wide receiver. So, and that's what Jacksonville has been excelling at, is Lawrence just passing it to BTJ, Jacoby Myers, Brenton Strange, Parker Washington. Also, Tennessee guys, surprisingly, Tennessee guys are 4-2 versus the Chiefs since Andy Reid became the coach in 2013. And Tennessee is only one of 4 teams to have a winning regular season record against the Chiefs under Andy Reid. So I am all over Tennessee this week. No Rashee Rice, Gardner Minshew. Come on. Chiefs are done.
We got a comment into YouTube. You will need points to beat the Chiefs, bud. Donations galore. LOL.
We talked about this on the pod last night. I think this is gonna be a pretty sloppy game. I'm also taking the over 8.5 punts at -130 in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like Andy Reid, 2-4 against the Titans. Like there are numbers where you take this. It's I get it. I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, points are good, but I go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm thinking it's like 17-13. Super low scoring. Under, punts, everything.
Yeah. It's gonna get sloppy.
It's weird because like the commenter is saying that like you need points to beat the Chiefs, and Chargers only scored 16 last week.
Right. Yeah, you really don't.
The Chiefs offense hasn't been good with Mahomes.
And even last year, the Chiefs they had like 10 games where they won by a score or less.
Yeah.
So,
and hey, Minshew is serviceable with a good coach, but like Mahomes himself has been struggling in his offense. We expect Minshew to be better. I think Minshew's a great value play in DFS this week, but
I don't.
Let's be honest. We've seen it go both ways with him.
I'm gonna be real with you, man. I think Gardner Minshew like sucks, but at the same time, I also think people are forgetting that Patrick Mahomes, how good Patrick Mahomes is, covers for a lot of the issues on that roster.
Right.
That offensive line is dust.
They've got no run game.
Their offensive line is getting wrecked, and I think we're going to see a lot of pressure because Titans defense, since Simmons has come back from injury, he's been generating pressure. He's a dog. He's one of the best defensive tackles in football.
Can I just say Jeffrey Simmons ran the best big man route I've ever seen.
That touchdown, I agree. That was so good.
Unbelievable.
All right. So we get into my parlays here.
Let's do it.
As we know, I always roll with my top wide receiver for a same game wide receiver parlay. Sun God is the far and away the best wide receiver on the week, I think, from a value standpoint. So I'm taking the over 84.5 receiving, over 7.5 receptions and a touchdown. $5 at plus 254 will pay out $17.70. If Sun God hits 100 yards, there's a good chance I get all 3 of these. And then this is my homer play, but you know what? Bear down, guys. We're doing Caleb adjusted line over 230 passing yards. We're getting DJ Moore over 50 receiving and Loveland over 50 receiving. And then I'm doing Caleb with 3 passing touchdowns. I got a boost on DK at 30%. So my $10 bet at plus 2210 will pay out $231 if it hits. So This one's for me. You guys know I'm a big Bears homer. If you're like, this is a little bit risky, Waleed's judgment's a little impaired,
You're
get
right.
it. But also,
if it's a little bit risky, so what? It's plus 2,200. Put $1 on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
So
for what it is too, and this is one of those, like I say, when I do my same.
You don't have to put $10 on it.
If Caleb throws for 3 touchdowns in this game, there's a good chance all those other 3 legs hit. My outcomes all play into each other, which is I think the way you make successful parlays. I haven't been as on it this year with parlays as I have in years past, but like I think for its price, this is a really good value play. That's a sneaky good bet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a FOMO bet for sure. It's definitely a fear of missing out.
Yeah.
I agree. Also, the Bears are the best team in the NFL. So,
but also, I mean, at the same time, like the reason why Waleed can do what he's doing in DFS is because he hit on a huge Bears week and cashed big. So.
Actually, it was Joe Flacco who got me there for most of my money. But
Colston
Caleb did his part. Oh, Colston Loveland on that week. That was one of the best like tight end runs ever. Maybe not ever, but for Bears at least.
Speaking of Colston Loveland, let's move on to our Millie bets. We're gonna have Ryan start us off.
Oh, funny you should mention Colston Loveland because I'm just going with the straight up Colston Loveland touchdown this week. I got it at plus 190 yesterday. It's actually at like plus 210 somewhere around there now. So I bet $10 to win 29.
Okay.
I
also went homer, but not as drastic. I went just a Bears money line. I got it at minus 104.
And your odds were better because now it's down to like 5 Bears.
Interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I got it early. I don't know if I would give the Bears points in this because I think it's going to be close.
I agree with that.
But I definitely think I'm calling for a Bears win. I will put my homer goggles on. I work really hard to not be a homer when it comes to sports betting and fantasy football in general because it usually leads me down the wrong path.
Sure.
But it's Packers week. Let me have this. I'm willing to buy in. So let's go to our reigning God Emperor of Gambletown, Waleed Ismail. Why don't you tell us your Millie bet this week?
So I am not going homer on this one. I'm betting $32. I want something that I feel strongly about, and Tony's wide receiver model loves him. My usage model loves him. I did a same game parlay on him. I'm going to roll with Sun God. This is a Sun God week. I'm really high on it. Sun God over 110 yards at plus 227. $32 bet will pay out $104.64.
Okay. All right, so those are our millionaire bets of the week. We've run through our top 5 bets. We've run through our parlays. We've explained to some random dude on YouTube why the Chiefs are ass. And so let's bring in super producer Josh, and we'll run through our DFS plays of the week. I whooped everybody's ass in the football absurdity contest last week, just by the way.
You did?
All right, Josh, why don't you tell us who your quarterback is this week, my friend?
So I'm going to run it back this week, and I'm going to go Tyler Shaw again. They have no running game, essentially. And so I feel like...
You don't believe in Audric Estime?
I underestimate him greatly.
Yeah, there you go.
That's terrible. Terrible, Josh. I love you, though. I mean, it's terrible, but I still,
You're the most professional comic here, and that's what you're giving us?
I'm really phoning it in. It's the end of the year.
A real friend will hold you to a higher standard.
I gotta tell you what, Tyler Shuck's one of my 5 guys that I'm running in my Sims. Like he's such a great value this week, and he's getting that rushing yards. It gives him a great floor. Love Tyler Shuck in DFS this week.
He's going against the Jets. So
I have a Saints triple stack going with Shuck, Olave, and Juwan Johnson, but that allows me to get Gibbs and Bijan. So
that's why I did it.
Sounds good to me. And also, by the way, Tyler Shuck leads all quarterbacks in carries inside the 10-yard line in the last month. He has 5 in 4 games.
That's a good stat.
Yep. So that's great for DFS. You get that rushing touchdown. All right. Ryan, can I get your quarterback?
Quarterback this week, guys. and I did this lineup on like Wednesday or Thursday whenever Wally posts it. And it was also someone we used in the THfantaC lineup, and he's also gonna try and win me a ticket to the championship game. Mr. Jacoby Brissett. I am starting Jacoby Brissett over Lamar Jackson this week in championship game against Atlanta. Yeah, they have no run game. All their running backs are hurt, and they're down to DeMarcado and Carter.
Yep.
So they're going to have to pass to win this game, I think, especially if Bijan does what we think he's going to do and have a decent game. And Atlanta's offense, this game could be sneakily high scoring. So I think that's really good for Brissett.
Okay. Waleed, your quarterback.
Honestly, my quarterback is also Jacoby Brissett. But
Okay.
to give you a different option on one of my top 5 quarterbacks, if you're willing to pay up, Jared Goff this week is one of my top quarterback plays for DFS.
I think
Okay.
he's going to be really
Yeah.
low owned.
I think
Sure.
Goff will be low owned because they're such good value, and I want those shots because I expect Goff to explode. I've said it all year. No TJ Watt, and I already think the Steelers are overrated. And
No, isn't he back?
Is Watt back? I thought he was out still this week.
I thought TJ Watt was back.
I heard something on the radio yesterday that said he was out, but who knows? Like people.
No, you're right. You are correct. He is correct. He's
Okay,
out.
but also like Lions coming off of a loss in general are like they wreck their opponents, and the Bengals or not the Bengals, where the Steelers, they're overrated. Like I said, I don't believe in them, so I'm going with Goff. Not for the football absurdity contest, but he is one of my top quarterbacks of the week.
Give me Lions at home
20%.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go with Bosif Nix. I like the matchup against the Jags. I think there's a chance that this game could shoot out, and it would be an under-owned shootout.
Okay.
And as much as I have been a Bo Nix hater for a long time, but when you're playing well, man. Like, he put up 29 fantasy points on Green Bay last week. Like,
I still don't believe in Bo Nix as the player, but
Oh,
for
no.
fantasy purposes, he.
But do you
produces-
believe in
he's got
Jacoby-
rushing upside?
do you believe in Jacoby Brissett as a player?
I believe in them passing more than anyone in football. Pass rate over expectation in garbage time.
So no.
Jacoby Brissett is modern day Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And I rode Blake Bortles to championships.
Yeah, rightfully so. All right, cool. Josh, can I get your running back play of the week?
You can. I'm gonna go with Junkins this week, guys. Against the
Okay.
Buffalo run defense that is pretty bad.
Very porous.
Yeah, it's bad.
Over the last 4 weeks, Buffalo's giving up 3.09 yards before contact. Like Buffalo is probably the worst run defense. We saw Travion Henderson wreck them last week. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Ryan, can I get your running back?
I made a very interesting lineup for the football absurdity contest this week. I have like 2 of the highest running backs I was able to put in this week, but I'm gonna roll with Gibbs, and just as a side note, I was able to also afford Achane, but Gibbs is my guy this week.
I think Achane is the pivot. My model loves Achane, but I think that he's getting depreciated in cost because people don't know what Quinn Ewers is going to be. But I think that just means that Achane gets a bunch of dump off passes. And if
Right.
he just breaks one. And in this matchup against like Cincinnati, I don't understand why he's not valued higher. And the only explanation is Quinn Ewers.
Right, exactly.
sense.
But
Right.
yeah, Jameer Gibbs is my guy this week. I think he's good for 3 touchdowns. Let's get it.
Okay. Waleed, your running back.
This is a Bijan Robinson week. I told you in the betting show he's going to be my running back in my absurdity lineup.
Okay. The play I'm actually making in our contest is Jameer Gibbs, but my pivot is James Cook.
I think James
Um,
Cook is also another pivot that I find very interesting.
Yeah, that's I
Sure.
think like he's a guy that could put up 25 points. He said all season that like Joe Brady said all season we're gonna save him for January and December, and it's December. And in his past 3 games, Cook is the RB4 in expected fantasy points per game.
My best ball teams want him to go off, so
Yeah, I mean, he's got a top 5 workload over the last month. It's going to keep it up. Browns have allowed the 5th most schedule-adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing running backs over the past 5 weeks. Fucking Tony Pollard crushed them. Like, come on.
yeah. If Tony Pollard's doing that, imagine what James Cook is going to do.
Exactly. All right, Josh, let me get your wide receiver.
Okay. Obviously, I have an Olave stack hiding, but the one that I want to highlight for the lineup is Jalen McMillan. He looked pretty good for a guy that broke his neck previously. So,
Right?
I didn't know the collarbone was connected to the neck.
You know,
Close enough.
You know the song.
Yeah.
but and he would have had a touchdown. He would have had a touchdown if they, hadn't reviewed it and realized he didn't cross the plane. So,
Is this your like Nick Westbrook Akine?
That's what I'm feeling.
Just to
Oh,
let you know, the 2 names that I was bouncing back and forth was Naylor and McMillan. So do with that what you will. Anytime touchdowns.
With Naylor, 2 weeks in a row now, J.J. McCarthy is locked on him as the wide receiver one. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's like the best separator in football.
I love it. I love it because I have Naylor in one of my best balls, and I'm hoping that he's one of those guys that can boost me through if he can have another 25-point game.
Well, I am actually, as we talk right now, I'm looking at the sports books here, and since Josh is a fucking savant at that shit, you can get a Jalen McMillan anytime touchdown for plus 450.
Okay.
Wow.
I got 5 on it.
I might have to throw something on that.
No pressure, right? Josh. All right.
Yeah.
Ryan, let me get your receiver.
All right, so I had to do some deep dives at receiver this week because I have Gibbs and Achane in my lineup. So I'll pick one of them because I don't want to spoil the other 2 until tomorrow. But I'm going to go with Mr. Jalen Coker. In a game where Carolina's going to have to pass, he's only 4,400 and quietly has had a really awesome last 2 weeks.
Yes, he has. I don't think it's been that quiet.
Okay. Well,
yeah, he's never quiet.
Yeah, watching Carolina Panthers games is never quiet. But yeah, Tampa's going to be hustling their asses off to try and win this game. So Bryce Young's going to have to pass. And I think this game also has a chance to be one of the higher scoring games on the slate. So
I mean, it's for the division, right?
Right, essentially, yeah.
Pretty much. And the Bucks have been they've been getting torched in the passing game. So.
Yeah, both teams are 7-7, right? So yeah.
And one of my teams that's hoping to advance to the final round has Ted McMillan, and I am, I think, 26 yards away from hitting his season-long receiving yards prop.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
So I hope for a big Tet week as well. Wally, can I get your receiver?
This is going to surprise no one who was paying attention to my top 5 bets. We're going Sun God here. He's the best receiver on the week by far to me. I'm going big here.
Okay.
As I mentioned previously, I'm at 100% Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not 100%, but pretty close. So that's going to be my play, but my pivot is going to be the salary saving A.D. Mitchell, baby. I know we went back and forth in the THfantaC Discord about A.D. Mitchell. I like Mitchell a lot this week. He was getting just slammed with targets last week.
And he has been over the last month. Mitchell has been an incredibly valuable DFS play over the last month. If you haven't had him in lineups, you've been missing out.
He had more. First off, he has a 16.0 yard ADOT, just by the way. And he had more expected fantasy points with Brady Cook than in 2 of his 3 games with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Saints play single high 58.9% of the time. Mitchell against single high, his yards per route run is only behind Puka, Jamar Chase, Drake London, and A.J. Brown.
And over the last 5 weeks, his targets have been 6, 7, 12, 6, 9. Like,
Yep.
he is the number one target on the Jets. So just having a number one wide receiver at under 5,000, like a guy who's going to be guaranteed a minimum of 6 targets, that pays for itself.
Yep. Yeah, he leads since arriving in New York. He leads the NFL in air yards share. 51% of the Jets' air yards goes to A.D. Mitchell.
Really?
Yes, sir. All right, Josh, your tight end of the week.
All right, guys. There's one rule when it comes to tight ends this year. You play tight ends that are playing Cincinnati, so I'm going with Darren Waller.
You're not worried about Quinn Ewers?
I think I said in the pod last night, I think Darren Waller's trapped this week after last week's production. But I could be totally wrong.
We'll see. I'm going with Cincinnati's track record. They let tight ends that I don't even know the name of score big.
Right,
so.
but silently, Josh, like I pointed this out last night too. They've been really good against the tight end. I mean, granted, they played Baltimore twice in the last 3 weeks, but look at what they did to Likely and Andrews last week. I mean,
but they
didn't
didn't
have to pass.
Lamar Jackson threw the ball 10
They lost
times.
the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. Okay.
True. Who knows?
All right. Ryan, who's your tight end then?
All right, so my mid-tier kind of shitty tight end of the week is Juwan Johnson to go with Josh's Tyler Shug. He's silently been the number 2 target, second to Olave in this offense, and New Orleans is playing the Jets, guys, so I want a part of that game. So
makes sense. Waleed, your tight end?
So I'm doing an interesting pivot here. We're going Brock Bowers against the Texans. The one spot that you can pass on the Texans is the tight end spot. And $5,600 for Brock Bowers, I think, is a value play that I think is very sneaky. He's gonna be low rostered, I think, and he's
most
Brock
likely
Bowers.
Right,
So,
and look at what McBride did, who's just as good, if
that's
not
what
better.
I'm saying. I think it's one of those things where Brock Bowers is a guy, he can get me 30 points, and if he's low owned when I have him, that could be the difference. So,
sure, respect it. All right, my tight end's Travis Kelce. No surprises.
Damn.
My pivot is,
Tony's
and
going
actually,
Swifty.
in places, hey man, what can I say? In some places, I'm totally comfortable rocking my pivot tight end in the flex, so I'm cool with Kelce, Harold Fannin builds.
I love him.
So, I'm going with Kelce. Josh, who's your defense this week?
My defense this week, sorry, Ryan, it's going to be the Broncos against Jacksonville.
No.
It's over.
Well, you're going to love my defense then.
Why don't you tell us?
Because it's going to be Jacksonville against the Broncos.
Oh, shit.
Calling my tight end a trap, picking against my defense. It's on.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, cool. Waleed, your defense.
So my defense is the one that I've highlighted over the last 2 weeks in my defensive streamer article. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. They have the best fantasy playoff schedule. They have a really good matchup this week. But who did you pick, Ryan, for your defense?
Jacksonville.
Jags.
Jacksonville. Interesting. Both Jacksonville and Denver show up as neutral on my defensive model, which means that they should be fine. They're not going to hurt you, but I'm not sure that they're in line for explosive games.
Okay.
And I am punting defense completely, and I'm going with the New York Jets.
New York Jets are my favorite punt. I'm going to have more of them than any other defense in DFS this week because it lets me pay up for some really nice values.
Yeah, they're 2,100. Are you kidding me? Second lowest defense on the slate. I'll take it.
Who's
the lowest?
I have no idea.
Raiders probably.
Tennessee, maybe.
Yeah, that
Oh
would be.
yeah, you're probably right.
So what I'm going to tell you guys too, I'm going to throw it out here. My top 3 like defenses on my model for the week. The best defense by far, Houston Texans, also the most expensive, but they are far and away the best. They're the best defense for my scoring model. After that, you got Buffalo and Atlanta. They're both they're not S tier, but they're A tier. They have the second and third best opportunities to be explosive defenses. Problem with Atlanta is you have to trust in Atlanta, and I worry about garbage time, so I would probably fade that. I think the Eagles and Chiefs are also strong plays.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
Eagles,
so
you can't play them this week. I just realized because
That's
they're
Yeah.
well.
All right, so let's run through our plays. Josh, take us home.
Tyler Shugg for my quarterback. Junkins for my running back. Jalen McMillan for my wide receiver. Darren Waller for my tight end. And then Denver Broncos for my defense.
Okay.
Okay.
Ryan, your plays of the week.
I got Jacoby Brissett. I got Jameer Gibbs. I got Coker. I got Juwan Johnson, and I got the Jags D.
Okay. Waleed.
I also went Jacoby Brissett with Jared Goff pivot since Ryan also had him, and I wanted to give you second option. I'm Bijan Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brock Bowers, and the Saints defense.
Okay. And I went with Bo Nix. My actual play is Jameer Gibbs. My pivot for the show purposes was James Cook. I'm also going Amon-Ra St. Brown, but for show purposes, A.D. Mitchell. Travis Kelce is my tight end, and I'm going with the New York Jets as my defense. So it's week 16, guys. I mean, we've really only got this week and next week in terms of good fantasy anything.
Yeah, but we'll still have some DFS stuff, and there's still gonna be some value sports bets in week 18. I think we will.
I completely agree. I mean, we're rocking through the end of the year, and we'll do a playoff one too. But
yeah,
we're approaching
but
the
for
end.
true fantasy football purposes, week 17 is where it ends. So we got 2 more weeks to go over here and get those monocles.
Let's go. All right. Well, that's it for us then. And so may your teams that are in the semis advance to the finals. May your best ball builds be making it to round 4 to the big tourney in the sky. May you hit big in DFS. May your sports bets hit. Everything's great.
Go Bears.